Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, and welcome to the Amateur Otaku podcast, where we talk anime, manga, and celebrate the amazing medium that is anime and manga. Didge, Isaac, we're here. What is up, my people? How y'all doing?
Doing good. I'm tired. It's been a long week.
I,
So,
buddy,
It's been a
Same
long
here.
week.
buddy, I get it. I get it. I totally get it. Lot to read, lot to work. Like there's a lot
Seriously.
of things going on. You've shared a couple of bit of what you've been working on too on the Discord, and it's been fire. So hey, man, keep doing what you're doing, bro. I mean, you
I'm
put in
trying. It's a lot of sleepless hours with that too.
yeah. But this is the time that we got to just have fun, talk anime, talk manga in this pod that we do every week. We missed last week, but we're back this week. And one of the main topic, if not the main topic to start off the stream, is inevitable. It's sad, it's heartbreaking, but we're gonna treat it as a means of celebration of the life of a great man. And right after the pod that we had 2 weeks ago, the news broke that we lost Akira Toriyama. And it was one of those things that broke a lot of people, surprised everybody, and got a lot of people talking about their experience with this man's art. And it's endless. The amount of people that got impacted by Akira's talent, love of the form, and understanding of the medium, and just re-engineering even the same stories for new audiences. Like Akira was a king, like in the best way, shape, or form, a pillar of the anime and manga community. And there's no way that we're going to start today's episode, that we were not going to start today's episode with acknowledging this great man. Um, it was an illness. He was only 68 at the time, but he leaves behind a powerful legacy. And we encourage you guys on the chat that have a fond memory of coming into contact with anything that Toriyama-san put his hands on, which was a lot.
A lot.
I tried to capture a little bit of everything that most people know that he's done on this picture. Like, of course, we got Son Goku, we got Chrono, we got one of the main characters of the first Dragon Quest. We have Sandland, we have Dr. Slump. But not only that, it's that he is a pillar for the current mangakas or the current mangakas that have been working for the last 20, 30 years.
I hate to be that guy, but I don't think that's the first Dragon Quest here. I do believe that's Eldritch.
No, that's one of. I said one of the first.
Okay, one of the first. I misheard you.
Yeah.
Because
I gotta-
do believe it's the third Dragon Quest hero.
I appreciate the correction. I did pick it from a pick that had the numbers 1, 2, and 3. I don't know which one he belongs to.
Fair enough. I only recognized him from Super Smash Brothers, since that hero is a skin on. If I'm being completely honest.
I'm doing my thing, and you're not even sure of the true identity of this character, but you still interrupt me, bro.
Yeah.
Just another day on the Amateur Otaku podcast.
I was just in case it's someone that is a big dragon.
You know that you're the
Quest
only
fan.
one that would fight about that, right?
Oh, it would probably someone else. This is
I
the
know,
internet, all right.
And then you would have fun correcting them. But yes,
Yeah, of course.
this it has a little bit of a lot that he's done. I mean, I don't think we have enough time on this pod to talk about everything that he contributed to the medium or to the works that he's done. But Didge, I don't know. I don't know your relationship with Akira Toriyama's work. I don't think we've had that conversation here on the pod or outside. So I want to put it on the ball in your court to kick off this conversation. When you heard of his passing, what was your reaction?
I was in shock first and foremost. Dragon Ball Z was literally the first anime I watched. My cousin, like I used to watch cartoons and stuff, but I hadn't even watched Pokemon yet. My cousin, I remember he was watching it, and then during the Namek saga, I happened to be over his house, and he was like, "Yo, you gotta watch this." And so, like I said, it was already during the Namek saga. I watched an episode or two, and I was like, "Okay, this is clearly already started. Where do I go for the beginning?" And it was he hadn't even known about Dragon Ball. Like he had got introduced to it as Dragon Ball Z. So he was like, "Oh, here I got these tapes for you." So we started with Dragon Ball Z, and then when I had caught back up to the Frieza saga, another one of my cousins was like, "Did y'all watch Dragon Ball though?" And so it spiraled from there, where it was like, "Well, no, we're these 9-10-year-old kids. We thought we found something, and now here you go, like, oh, but y'all didn't see this thing." And it's went from there. And my love for anime was it was peaked there. From there, you start venturing out, you start watching other stuff. But it's no stretch to say that I probably wouldn't have been into anime as I am now if I wouldn't have watched Dragon Ball, because it was the thing that really was like, yo, cartoons doing stuff like this. Like, obviously I loved all like the X-Men, Spider-Man, all those cartoons and stuff in the 90s. But Dragon Ball it felt different. And then the Toonami era, once you're tapped into Dragon Ball, you're tapped into the Toonami era. And the Toonami era was just insane. And it brought me closer to family. It brought me closer to my brother. I probably wouldn't have been doing the podcast that I do with him, which means I probably wouldn't have been doing all of the other stuff that I'm doing. And it's crazy because the one through thread is I just can't see it any other way, is that, oh, because I was at my cousin's house and we started watching Dragon Ball. So I say all that to say, when I saw the news, first I was like, this has to be fake. People put fake shit on Twitter all the time. And
that was my first reaction too. I was like,
yeah,
no. But then I saw that it was coming from like real sources.
Yes.
And I was like, no.
And yeah, like my heart, it just dropped, because it was just like, damn, you start thinking about how much of like I said, just a through thread of your entire life was like, it stemmed from one moment. And it's sad that the person who was responsible for that moment is just no longer here.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. I love what you said about your cousins and bringing family together and doing that, because great media, great art, that's what it does.
Yeah.
It brings people together. Just for an example, like the idea that when One Piece Red came out, One Piece dominated Times Square. That's like, you know what I mean? That's a moment in history that will never be forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
Strangers became, say, pirates together, for that moment. But we all as kids, like, we've all done it. We've all screamed to become Super Saiyan.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We know what it is to wait 5 days to finish one part of a battle because it's being stretched out like crazy. But the tension was there, the power was there, the amazement was there. And to me, I had a similar experience too, because one of the things that it's funny, because it's not that I wasn't aware of it, but of course, when a chapter ends, you review the history.
Yeah.
Right. And I remember that I was born and raised in Puerto Rico. I come from an island. I wasn't raised in the States. I was born in an island where everybody talks Spanish. We know we're in American territory, but Spanish is the native language. And I would watch Dragon Ball Z in Spanish back in the 90s and early 2000s. I would watch it in Spanish on my local channels. That's how much spread his work had. And I would go from one town to the other, and the other kids are talking about Dragon Ball. And this kid has the bootleg GT. You know what I'm saying? It like that, like the fact that no matter where I went, there was someone in the crew that knew what was up. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it's like, buddy, you have no idea. You think Super Saiyan 3 is fat? Have you seen Super Saiyan 4? No, like, and then I got my buddy that has the jacked up PlayStation because he has Dragon Ball GT
Final
Bout.
Bout. Oh,
Come on, son.
Yes.
Come on, son. Like the whole thing, like those things happen in my island, not in New York when I visited my cousins, in my island. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we would play the games in Japanese. That's, you know, like the idea that a manga anime property had a game was unheard of 20 years ago. And Dragon Ball, I don't want to say Dragon Ball did it first, but that was the first I heard of it.
Right. That's what I think was the thing. Like, we were the same way. Like, you're talking when immediately bringing up the PlayStation that was hacked so you could play Final Bout.
Come on,
oh
bro.
My God. There was one import store here in Wisconsin. And I won't say one because there's probably others, but there was the one that we all knew. Like,
there's the one.
You could go, you could literally talk to anybody and be, hey, did you go to ModelZone? Yes. Oh, you got this from there. You got that from there. It had all the old, and it was just, it was such, like you said, it was just such a community. It was we got all these other differences, but we like Dragon Ball though.
Yes.
And it was just, it was a time. It was such a time.
Yeah. And the great thing about it is the reason I love it so much now, and it's ingrained in my soul. And Isaac, I want you to chime in, and I want to know what your experiences was and what your reaction was. It was right after the pod. I'm looking at Twitter. I see it. I'm like, what is not real? The next day, you know what I'm doing? I'm playing DBC tracks in Spanish on my radio, and I am tearing up because the idea that he made sure that his creation was experienced by everybody.
Yeah.
And then it also blew my mind that nowadays I see Dragon Ball as the gateway. I don't see it as the peak for me, but that doesn't mean it's bad. I wouldn't have known anime if it wasn't for Dragon Ball. I tip my hat. You know what I mean? It's like, I respect the master. And I'm going to be honest, I went to see Dragon Ball Super Broly in theaters.
Same.
That thing was tight. You know what I'm saying?
Same.
Like, I'm still weirded out because a lot of the weird Dragon Ball Z movies were all weird. Didn't make any sense at all. But I'm going to tell you, I am a strong defender of History of Trunks because Gohan in that movie, 1 or 2 arms, kicks ass. It don't matter. You know what I mean? Like, I still have that love for it. And the fact that I was listening to that music in my own language, it made me think, we always question, what is this Dragon Ball Daima stuff? Why are we seeing a third Dragon Ball Z come out, redoing the whole story for the 4th time? And a lot of us that have already played the other games question it, but then it dawned on me. I saw a comment on Twitter, and I just died. It said, I am so happy that you got to see Goku as a kid one more time. And when I heard that, I was like, that's it. That's why he does it. Dragon Ball GT wasn't for Dragon Ball Z fans. It was for the new generation of Dragon Ball fans that needed to meet Goku as a kid again. And Dragon Ball Daima is not for Dragon Ball Super fans. It's for all those kids that are going to meet Goku as a kid again and are going to grow up with that one. The fact that this man understood that his content needed a reset for a new generation. See, that kind of stuff just blow my mind, bro.
Yeah, it's the whole situation. It's still nuts to think about it. Like,
Yep.
it's a lot, man.
Yeah. Yeah, bro. Isaac, when you first heard, I know that I think you may be the, if not one, of the biggest Dragon Ball fans that I know. Um, when you heard, what was your reaction?
It's funny that you say one of the biggest because I'm more of a casual fan. Dragon Ball here were never aired in Swedish televisions. There were two animes that aired when I was a kid. It was Sailor Moon and it was Pokemon and Digimon. So okay, that's three then. But it's to the point that 15 years ago, if you ask someone that what Dragon Ball is here in Sweden, 9 out of 10 probably didn't know about it. Honestly, that being
Interesting.
said,
Completely the opposite of us.
Yeah,
yeah,
That's
yeah.
really interesting.
But the way I found it out was that my cousin had started borrowing the manga from the public library of all places.
Wait, they had Dragon Ball in the public library?
Yep.
oh, that's
Bro,
cool.
bro, that's nuts, bro.
And,
What year is this?
about 2002, 2003 or something like that.
We're talking
if
about
I'm
a
not
book
mistaken.
in the public library, and there's no syndication for the animation.
Yep.
That's
Wow.
interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's never aired on the Swedish TV. It's, like I said, Pokemon, Digimon, and Sailor Moon. And of course, it was the Swedish dub, which is, well, let me just put it like this. The Swedish dub of those, of Sailor Moon and Pokemon specifically, well, they make 4Kids look like a master in the dubs. And you know that's bad when they look like professionals. But I digress. When I read that, I just maybe I wasn't as super hooked as you guys were when you watched the anime per se, but it was to the point where I asked mom, check some pages here. Can I uh, go to the bookstore and buy this and wished for those in Christmas gifts and all that jazz. And well, she said yes, and I started collecting those. And that was, I do believe it was my first manga that I collected, if I'm not mistaken.
Was that OG Dragon Ball or Z?
OG.
So you started from scratch.
Yep.
Nice.
So
What do you own so far?
When it comes to manga, let me see here on the top of my head: Chainsaw Man, Demon Slayer, Dragon Ball.
No. Of the Dragon Ball. Of the Dragon Ball.
Okay. Everything besides, I don't own anything of the Dragon Ball anime per se, because that would cost me an equal of a PlayStation 5 at this point.
Wow.
But when it comes to the manga, it's everything from start to finish, from Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. I'm thinking about collecting Super, but
Nice.
I will admit that hasn't really happened yet.
Yeah. So when you heard that he had passed, what was your reaction?
It was, how should I put it? It was just shit. We're truly missing one in a lifetime legends. There is a friend of mine that what's it called again? Wait just a second. I just gonna look up what he said. he said something along these lines of states. It was Osamu Tezuka built the foundation of Shonen Jump. Akira Toriyama made it as a total empire. Because
They're not wrong.
Sure, there's some influence of Fist of the North Star, arguably, with Dragon Ball also, but he truly was the one that made Shonen Jump as popular worldwide as it was. Sorry, the word is today, or should I say, manga in general.
It's something that
Also, for reference, if someone wonder who Osamu Tezuka is, it's the creator of Astro Boy. But go on.
but we remember fondly Toriyama-san. I believe his assistant will be continuing the work on Super.
Yep.
Yep.
That's confirmed. It's just that
Yeah.
Super, as of right now, is on indefinite hiatus, which is completely understandable.
Well, no,
Yeah.
they said they'll be back for their May issue. So April
It had
is
said that
gone.
it's confirmed now. That it's indefinite hiatus. They have changed it. And last time I checked, at least.
I know last I saw it was just April, but that was like a day ago. So,
or maybe I'm just misinformed. I can admit that. But I digress. I'm honestly, and we can't. Even though this is more of a anime and manga podcast, we also I feel like we need to reiterate how big of an important he has been on the video game industry as well.
100%.
definitely.
Considering Dragon's Quest, even though you haven't played it, and let me put it like this: there wouldn't have been any, or probably no, scratch what I say. There wouldn't be the JRPG genre as it is today without Dragon's Quest. Legends of Zelda, last time I checked, was inspired by Dragon's Quest and all that jazz. So, in JRPGs, as of right now, is one of the most popular genres out there. So, sure, he didn't design the game, but his was a big part in designing it via the character designs.
He definitely was a creative force in Japan because he inspired different mediums. Like he wasn't just the one thing, you know what I mean? It's like
you want to know something funny about him?
Go.
He went and did manga because he wanted to do get a quick cash. And then when he saw that this is that one I know is true, but he also when he supposedly saw a poll that this was pre-Dr. Slump, which was his first success.
Like big success.
Yeah, before Dragon Ball. And that his work at that, I can't recall what it was rated as the worst one of his of that on the publication at the time. And then he just did an attempt after an attempt after an attempt, and on the 10th time, supposedly on the 10th attempt, he got Dr. Slump, and then we got Dragon Ball after that.
That's awesome.
Also, fun fact.
His was also a very marked trial and error story.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like because we didn't get Dragon Ball because even Sandland can be from Dragon Ball, right?
Yeah. Sandland was
In between
was prior. It
Was
was
prior?
prior. It was prior. I'm fairly certain.
The idea that we're
I,
going to have a lot of fresh eyes to a lot of his content for the next 5 years, though. Like, we're going to get Daima. We're going to get the Sandland video game. We're going to get the Sandland. What is it, a series or a movie?
movie. I'm certain. I'm
It's
pretty
it's
sure, and
it's a
it's
lot.
on Disney Plus right now.
Yeah.
If I'm not,
Out of all places.
yeah, but they are so. I know that I was positive about the Bleach ending up on Disney Plus at first, but now I'm regretting that part because Disney Plus has been horrible in marketing the anime stuff. But I digress. But what was I gonna say? Speaking of another thing where his manga has inspired, that is not that commonly known. Yeah, he's the main character of Doctor Slump is a major inspiration on Mario's movement in the early 2D Mario games for Super Mario. Actually, Shigeru Miyamoto has said that in an interview. I linked that one on Discord for you at the guest thread.
So I cannot deny that I was one of those that loving and enjoying Dragon Ball Z when I was a kid. I fell in love with JRPGs. When I found out that Chrono Trigger existed and there's a port for PlayStation, I needed to get my hands on it. And the fact that I would see, and of course, those that played the PlayStation port of Chrono Trigger knows that we got animated cutscenes and have the animated opening for Chrono Trigger. And the fact that we're getting more Akira Toriyama style art, like, I'm like, this guy's everywhere. I don't know. It's I think we've said everything we can say. It's if there is there anything else that you guys want to add before we say our goodbyes on this segment.
Rest in peace, legend.
Yeah, thank you for the many years of enjoyment, and I'll definitely be rewatching and re-enjoying.
Yeah. I mean, I still get shivers when I see the first Super Saiyan transformation.
Yep.
That still sends chills, bro. And because that to me was one of those moments. Again, what a way, and like everything now, like that was the first or one of the first. Everybody now has a Super Saiyan form. Like I many other mangas probably did it, but it all started there.
Yeah.
It was even Luffy is based on Goku. Like, it's crazy. Like, the biggest, and I think the love that all the other mangakas put out there, like thanking him and like feeling the pain, and like it's Toriyama-san, thank you for sharing yourself with the world, and we will always honor your memory by loving the work and the medium that you gave your life for.
Yeah.
If you guys have awesome memories of Toriyama-san's art, let us know in the comments. We want to know what were your favorite moments. If you have a favorite moment in Dragon Ball, favorite moment in Dragon's Quest, anywhere, anything that is Toriyama related, let us know in the comments below. We definitely want to know your story because we just want to celebrate Toriyama-san. Now, we had to start the pod this way. Like, there was no other segment. There was no other thing to do. And I'm glad that we were able to do it. I feel another kindred spirit there, Didge. Like, we went through it the same way, bro.
Yeah.
When you got excited about Final Bout, I was like, yes, yes.
Oh, because I remember the first time I played that game, and it was I had never gotten the chance to play an imported game, so I was already super excited about
Yes.
that.
Yes.
And then it was for something that I had loved just loved so much, and that game was so fun.
Yep. And if you and the whole thing about playing it right, like you can play as Goku when he's a little kid,
Yo,
but if you level up and you do the right thing, you can be Super Saiyan 4 Goku. You're like, oh, yeah, yes,
it was that was another thing it was a time you just had to be there.
yes. You have to be in the room where it happens, bro.
Yes.
100%. Did you ever get a chance to play any of those old before Budokai? Did you ever get a chance to play a Dragon Ball game, Isaac?
I had the first video game that is Dragon Ball related that I played. I don't know if you guys have ever touched those games, but it was Legacy of Goku 1 for the Game Boy Advance.
Oh wow, I never played those.
I did.
But I knew, but I knew they were around.
The first one is not that good. Second and third, yeah, it's all right. Even if those two are, even of those two specifically, the second one is kind of a grind fest, honestly.
Nice.
But
those were great.
I have
Legendary Super Warriors on Game Boy.
Ooh.
I also do own Dragon Ball Z Fighters on my Switch that I play on my own for time to
I
time.
have that. I have that on PlayStation. I kind of played a little bit with it. I remember that I was a huge fan of the first Budokai. Like I remember that I bought that
Mhm.
game and I was so excited. The fact that you got the Dragon Ball Z original like opening track as the opening of the show was the opening of the game, and you got the bam 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 like that right there. I was just so pumped, so uber pumped, bro. Um, but yeah, cool. So I mean, I don't know, man. I feel that we were part of a period of time that I'm happy that we were all a part of.
Yeah.
And we're gonna keep playing. I don't know why. I don't know why. We got to find one of them bootleg PlayStations did, and whenever we actually meet up, we gotta
get around in on Final Bout.
But remember, you got to trick it because the lid has to be up. It can't
Yep.
be down because it won't read it.
Yep.
Yeah, come on, bro. Yes. So
I do find it funny how you have a One Piece shirt while you're talking about Dragon Ball, though.
hey, I'm gonna be honest with you. He was inspired by Goku, so I'm on point. See,
Fair point.
hey, I'm good. I'm good. So we're in the Amateur Otaku podcast, so we're gonna talk not some anime today. We've been wanting to talk manga for a while, and tonight's the night where we started. But don't worry, if you don't have the time to chill out with us and talk manga today, don't worry, because this awesome episode will be online where you can go watch it. But also, we're going to split this into two videos. So if you want to spend time talking and remember Akira Toriyama with us, you'll be able to enjoy that video by itself. And if you want to just go to the manga portion, you can stick around now or watch it when we post it. But we got 3 titles that we're going to talk about. We made it our mission to read the first couple of chapters of these 3 titles. We each picked one, and they're very different.
Yeah.
Like, to say the least.
One that's been running for a while, one that's been running for the last couple of months, and another one that's a couple of years back. But all 3 of them are interesting. Yeah,
a couple of years is it's
an understatement.
A couple of decades ago, considering the
Yes.
manga. It was the anime started in late 80s.
Yes. But we're excited to talk about these, and we're going to talk about these 3 titles. We're going to talk about Make the Exorcist Fall in Love. Yes, Isaac finally got me to read it. We're going to talk. We're going to talk about Oshimbo a la carte, and we're also going to talk about the sports amazing ice hockey fancy book, Dog's Red. We are ready to talk, and we wanted to start with Make an Exorcist make the extras fall in love. Isaac, you've been talking at nauseum about this book for the longest time. And the time has come. We've read it. I'm gonna be honest, I've read 3 chapters. I didn't get a chance to read all 5, but I got a very good gist of it. Isaac, what is it about this book, bro? What is it
That
about this book?
I don't I don't know what. Maybe it's because for me, while I'm both a casual enjoyer of both Made in Abyss and Blue Exorcist, the manga though, not the anime. And maybe it's because I like both that maybe it's sort of like connect with this book in a certain aspect because but on the other hand, it's kind of unique in a way where the one of the how should I put it? We have a main character that doesn't want to be strong. He just want to have a chill life and just why me kind of deal while trying to learn how to live with his current situation. And when he meets the paintress that he is assigned to protect, he gets a different point of view with his on a life and all that, yes, which is a nice contrast within the story. And I have to say, some of the art especially in the fight scene, is some of the most impressive things I actually seen in a good while. And I mean, some of the later chapter in specifically, I honestly think, how should I put it? It would be kind of insane to. It's one of those mangas that I unfortunately don't see getting an anime, considering it's the Made in Abyss angle. But I would love to see it because I think
If
would
Made
be
in
something.
Abyss, if Made in Abyss got an
Fair
anime,
point.
I have
Fair point.
buddy.
I can see this
Fair
coming on
point.
High Dive.
Yes.
High
Yeah.
Dive will for
Fair
sure pick
point.
this up.
Yes. See, High Dive is looking out for us, Ditch, because High Dive is the reason we got Oshinoko. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You got Made in Abyss.
Reading this, something this is for sure a High Dive anime.
Yes.
Yeah.
You get that
But,
gold Vermeil. Vermeil
Yeah.
and gold, bro.
But yeah, it's just manga that I actually think sticks out in a solid way, and it's I just find the premise maybe not a masterpiece and all that, yes, but it's stick out well and executed well enough that it clicked with me. And also, I have to say, it's kind of funny when it comes to his mentor, considering his name, if you really think about it. You know his master at the beginning?
Yes. What's the mentor's name?
Yeah, I definitely don't
Dante.
remember. Oh,
Of course.
And considering and I'm just sat there reading it at the beginning. I'm just, is the mangaka Devil May Cry fan? That was my first.
Well, not
thought
only
when
that, based on if you're looking at each of the demon lords, it's a take on Dante's Inferno.
yeah.
So it kind of gives you that whole. And the cool thing about Dante's Inferno is it's that Dante's journey, not just originally, of course, it's a love story. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You know, and I think what I liked about this book, and I might keep reading it. I like it because it's serious, but it's stupid. and then it's a little serious, and then it's very stupid. But I think that most, like, this is definitely a shonen book written for adults.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It has those shonen sensibilities where it's very serious when it needs to be. It's hence with all the biblical verses and references, because when it does that, especially the characters that do it, it's uber serious. They're not doing it in a way that's supposed to be excessively dramatic. Does that make sense? Like it's about to go down and they're expressing their biggest selves or whatever. But when it becomes stupid and quirky, it's stupid and quirky. But when it deals with the slice of life elements, it's full on shonen young kids figuring out life, you know? So it finds a way to kind of like balance those things very well. And it's funny because you mentioned the art being very surprising, and the best that you've seen in a while, which I'm not going to say it isn't. What I do find interesting is, correct me if I'm wrong, this is originally a web novel, correct?
I don't know. Honestly, I just saw that randomly on Manga Plus and started
Okay.
reading it. If
I
I'm being
wonder because the design of the panels, it's like, you know how you have manga
Let me Google
that
and double
yeah,
check that.
yeah, but it's not a big deal. But it's like, you know how you have mangas that you read and you can clearly see it on a page, right? And then you have other manga or books that you read and it feels like it's literally a digital book.
Oh, like it felt like it was designed to be read on a
exactly,
website.
Exactly. It's super clean, but the strokes are very very haphazard in a way, like not the typical strokes that you would see from a pen. You know what I mean? It feels like a digital book that's meant to be digital. It reminds me a little bit of Scott Pilgrim in a way, in terms of that roughness of style. So to me, that's what stood out to me the most, because it's very white and very little dark, but then it's very dark and very little white, and it does a lot of plays with shades, and I think that's where the amazement that you say comes from, because it feels that a lot of the drawings have filters on them as opposed to being drawn that way. Does that make sense? And I'm not saying that to its detriment. I think it's a good use of it because it's a different style of book that I'm used to reading. Because most of the books that you read nowadays still retain that lack of digital feel. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I can.
This actually uses it for the better, so I enjoyed that, and I do like the fact. Last thing I'm gonna say, and I do like the fact that they can go to the aquarium, have a nice day, but out of nowhere, a crow gets eaten by Shamu, and it becomes like a freaking like a demon stampede of Shamus. Like I like that. I love when books and stories allow themselves to be stupid like that. You know what I mean? Like it's a book that knows what it wants to be, and it's not trying to be overly serious. Like you always have. There's going to be shonen books that are 100%. This is the story. This is the beat. This is the feel, and there's room for those books, and I love those books, right? But this one plays to the way they draw the characters, the way the characters are, and it seems like it's going to be a pretty fun ride, especially with the whole opposites attracts and literally the top tier people of both bands of the Holy War. So, Dig, what was you were going to say something, Isaac, before we go to Dig?
I was gonna say, if there is a web novel, I can't find it.
Okay, so it's probably just digital. I mean, it's probably out. I mean, I know they're selling the volumes, but I just found that particularly striking of the drawings. Ditch, what were your thoughts on Make the Exorcist Fall in Love?
It felt familiar, and I mean that to say, I honestly, halfway through the first chapter, I started thinking, I was like, did I read this? Because it like the story, like it felt like. It didn't feel like they were throwing you into too much. So like it didn't feel like they were throwing you off of the deep end. it sort of welcomed you back to where you felt like
It felt like you've seen this horror movie before.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing. It goes through that trope and it takes you on that little walk.
Yeah, and it like you said, like it's definitely not a bad thing because it feeling familiar in that way, it just made you want to read more because then I'm thinking, oh man, clearly something happened here that I forgot. I want to get back into it. It kept making you want more because you're like, this is a story I kind of know, but the parts that I'm not remembering are so interesting that I want to read more. I want to get more of it. And it's a very intriguing story, like the whole holy war aspect of it. Him having his goal of I want to exorcise Satan, and then it kind of being a wrench thrown into it with her being there and being like, you got to protect her. You can tell he's kind of at war with himself. Yes. And so I'm fully invested in seeing where it goes from here.
Oh, and when things go crazy, he just drops the verse, bro.
Yeah,
he's like a holy rapper, bro. Like when you least expect it, he's just dropping bars and just repelling demons, bro.
Well, I like how unaffected that he is by everything. Like I think it was the I only read the first 4 chapters. I didn't get through all 5 either, but I think it was the maybe second chapter where the one comes through the house. Yes. He sees the one, and he's like, the rest of you guys can show up too. Like I know it's not just you. Like that's pretty. You could tell that that's so emblematic of just him as a character. And I one thing I want to get to eventually is to the point like what makes him tick. What's going to make him have to go to that different level of okay, I can't stay calm anymore. That's where I'm excited to get to.
So it's funny you say that, and Isaac, I want to get your 2 cents on this. That's one of the dichotomies of the main character that I like, because when it comes to battling demons, he's up here.
Yeah.
Which is the complete opposite of shonen protagonists. The whole point of most shonen protagonists is you got to learn, you want to become the number one hero.
Right.
This guy is All Might from the start, right? But the best thing about it is he doesn't understand life. He doesn't understand love. He doesn't understand relationships. Like the basics of life are the things where he's the weakest at, that he doesn't know how to deal with emotions. Like the idea that he was reading Goethe, like he wasn't like reading, he had the Song of Psalms, right? Of the Old Testament there. He had the Bible, but he also had Goethe. So he's literally ingesting literature from all over to learn from everything else, not just so in a way he took his teacher's teaching to heart. It's just that last little love thing that he's having issues with. But I like that, like you said, he's in constant war of himself. But the war that's going to drive the drama is I like it because what's the driving dramatic force of the book. It's not whether or not he can beat the demons, is whether or not he can live life.
Yeah.
So and whenever we actually see the battles, it's literally just madness for us to laugh and see how awesome it looks. It's not that that's not the main thing. So I like how it's like a 180 from what you expect from most shonen similar to this one.
And it's probably that's why I feel like it's sort of sort of refreshing, considering there is. Don't get me wrong, I do love me some Shonen Jump, and the whole beat gets stronger, all that jazz. But I'm also a sucker for the character interaction and all those yet figuring out your place in the world, as you said, and it does that really well in my book.
It does,
and that's why also I dare argue, as you mentioned, with what he has the hardest part with, why Dante is such a good foil of a mentor to him, considering he has figured out life for better and, well, for worse, depending on how you look at it. That first chapter.
Well, and it's funny because you think about this. I think if they mention it, most religious men would have just fallen to the succubus, fallen to the prostitutes. But he was able to humor them and still decline with a smile on his face. There's a level of restraint and freedom that he has because he has experienced life, because he's not simply just following orders. And the idea that even though the main character says that he's the one guy that he doesn't respect, you can tell that he is the one that he does respect because he wants to have that type of freedom. Which it's funny because it goes against the idea of what you would expect someone that's really religious or faithful would be, but the idea that he's okay with his own self. It's interesting. And I want to read more.
Yeah, I definitely want to read more.
There, Isaac, you're happy? We like it. Okay.
Yes. Hey. Yeah, I was hoping that you were the guy.
No,
you
it's
were
fun.
gonna like it.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna keep reading this one. You made me download Manga Plus on my tablet. Damn it. Make the Exorcist Fall in Love is available on Manga Plus. I want to say worldwide. I don't know if that app is worldwide, but you can check it out there. I don't think you need a subscription to read it, but at least the first couple of chapters is free. It's a fun read. Go check it out. Make the Exorcist Fall in Love. I think it's my turn to talk a book, right? I think that's what we're doing. So yes, we're doing things very interestingly. We're keeping things fresh because we had this somewhat funny romantic shonen, and we're going to talk about food now, and not just any.
Now I'm getting hungry.
Yes, I don't blame you, but for those that know me, know that my life is chaos. It's not an anime life like Isaac's, but my life is chaos. But this book in particular, it's a book that I am the type of guy that I like to just venture around my Viz manga app when I'm bored, right? Like I don't know what to read. I just want to look what's there. And I want to see if there's something interesting. And personally, I have the Shonen Jump app, but I have the Viz app as well. And I appreciate the Viz app because the Viz app has a lot of selections that I wouldn't have access to because they're not a shonen. But it also opens me up to a lot of different titles. And like I was able to read the entirety of Call of the Night thanks to the Viz app, which I love, and you should read it because you'll love it. But like a lot of groundbreaking, very popular mangas are there. Like currently, Tokyo these days is supposed to be very good. It's on there. Detective Conan Case Closed, it's on there. Inuyasha's in there. Like there's a lot of old and good stuff. But then there was this one. For those that know my Discord and my Twitter, know that when I have time, I like to cook. And sometimes I will share my plates with people, not to show off, it's just that I feel that I've created art. And if you like food and if you like art and you want to keep the ecchi down a little bit, I'm looking at you, Food Wars. Oishimbo a la carte, created by Tetsu Korea and Akira Hanasaki, is the book for you. I have no idea when this book came out. I think it was probably late 80s, early 80s. I don't know when it came out. But this book is amazing because it's interesting, because it I would say is the precursor to Food Wars in the sense of how it deals with the tale when it comes to cooking, the technique of cooking, the art of cooking, and the idea of plates, different types of plates being judged to see why one is better than the other, it does it does show me that this may be one of those books that inspired the food wars that we now enjoy. But also, if you read the little title on a little description, this is one of the most popular food mangas in history, which is why I
I
was
checked.
interested in reading it.
I
Go,
checked
Isaac.
when it checked out when it first started, and it was in 1983, and it
Woo!
has gone through, and it's gone through to 2014, but is currently on definite hiatus as of right now, apparently.
Well, you're telling me that this book has been going on nonstop for 30 years and then it went on a hiatus?
Yep.
Mm.
I must collect the One Piece. Um, but this book is great because I didn't know what I was getting when I was going into it. But the idea that you have this guy that works for this paper, I think it's what it does, right? Because you barely really get to talk about what he does. I think he works for a magazine or a paper, and he's been tasked with developing the ultimate menu because in most fancy restaurants, everything is presented to you in courses. You don't just go to McDonald's, get a Whopper, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like you get the first course, the second course, and the dinner, the plate, you get a full menu of experiences throughout the night. And a lot of great Japanese cuisine works that way, especially fine cuisine. And I like the idea of exploring the world of fine dining, the attention to detail, and how the most minimalistic detail can make all the difference on a plate, on the food, how it tastes, and the drama of it is so exciting. And the father and son dynamic between Kaibara Yuson and Shiro, and how literally they both are want excellence, but they're not willing to kind of understand that the only way they're going to get it is by working together, kind of, because they come from those two different paths. Because Shiro has the knowledge but not the experience, and Yuson has the experience, has the knowledge, but it's not open to new blood or whatever. I don't know what it is, but I don't know. I love the chapters. I love the story. I love the setup. And I love the fact that I'm learning of Japanese culture. But what I like the most about this book, and I want to hear about you, Ditch, um, after this, is the fact that I never, I don't think I've read something that is very intrinsically linked to a country's culture in a way that's so inviting to other cultures. Like they literally want you to enter that world and get in their shoes and see how it works. Like I feel that's the way they're presenting it, and I like feeling welcome into onto the table when I read this book. Um, when you saw that I recommended this one, what were your thoughts when you first saw it?
First thing was that the art style was really interesting, and I think that's the thing that's keeping me the most with the manga in general is that this art style, and obviously knowing now that it's an 80s art style, um, I immediately was like, oh, it just feels very retro. I didn't look anything up about it, so like I didn't know
Yeah,
that these chapters are already from the 80s. My
I
thought
didn't
was,
know either.
yeah, I just really I was like, okay, the mangaka, he's just or they're really interested in keeping that retro style alive, and I kind of like it. Because it feels so different from everything else that I'm reading.
Yeah.
Which now knowing that it's like I said again from the 80s, it makes sense. It's because I'm reading something that's 40 years old. But it
Damn,
still
40
feels
years old.
I know it's crazy.
It's crazy, bro.
It's crazy. But what's really good about it is that it still feels fresh.
Yeah.
Meaning that it doesn't feel like this story feels stilted or it feels something of a bypass era.
Yeah.
It still feels like something that could have came out today. It was a very great, I guess, dichotomy from Food Wars. Like,
Yeah.
funny enough, we actually just rewatched Food Wars very recently. So to see
Yeah.
those two, like to rewatch that, and I never read the Food Wars manga or anything, but then to then follow that up by watching or reading this, it was interesting because, like you said, their plot is very similar in the fact that they're all based around cooking,
Yeah.
but the way that they showcase it and the way that they celebrate cooking,
Yes.
it's so it couldn't be more different.
Yeah.
And that made me appreciate this a little bit more because now I'm seeing it from a different lens than what I would have seen it from had I not just probably rewatched Food Wars very recently.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny because Food Wars is, by the way, Food Wars is amazing.
Yeah, I like Food Wars a lot.
I love Food Wars.
It's out there. It's a lot.
And it's because of the food. That's why I like. No, but I love Food Wars because they find the right balance between the ecchi humor, the plot, and the food. Like, I think they find the right balance. But where Oshimbo a la carte excels, which is like you're saying, is that this one's all about the food.
Yeah,
That's where it is. And you think about, like, this could be really boring. But it's not. Everything you see them explain and everything you learn, it finds a way to pull you in.
yeah.
Isaac, are you just hungry or did you really enjoy this? What were your thoughts on Oshimbo? Are you eating a burger right now? Oh, wait, you don't eat meat.
No, I eating meat. I'm just I can eat meat. It's mostly how should I put it? It's I am more flexible considering my mom is vegetarian, so it's sort of like a mixture. If I am outside eating and we go to a burger place, I can take a meat burger if I still want to. So I go to
Meat
someone
burger.
else, and or if my mom want to make pasta and me. What's it called in? Never mind.
Food.
But yeah, it's food. You can do a lot of food with a vegetarian substitute, but I digress.
Yeah.
It's just sort of like, how should I put that? I did enjoy this one. It's sort of like a, how should I put it? It might not have grabbed me like it did you guys, but it's sort of like, it felt sort of like a show that I can just sit down and relax and just, if I so for whatever reason didn't manage to if I got someone called and I'm just managed to pause it,
It's a palate cleanser.
A palate cleanser, that's perfect.
Pun intended.
Yeah, and I'm proud of you. I mean, but yeah, it's sort of like if I want something easy to read, this is a perfect thing to go to if I'm not in the mood for as we talked about, someone a shonen show for that matter, or something. Maybe this is a perfect palate cleanser after reading every Jujutsu Kaisen chapter these days. If you catch my drift.
Yes, we do. We catch it. It's a drift.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fun. It's a fun read. I mean, and you learn a lot. You enjoy it, and I think the dynamic between the father and the son really does keep you interested. I think after the first 5 chapters, you kind of like want something a little bit different. So I'm intrigued to see where it goes. And at least in the Viz Manga app, I think it only has maybe like 20 chapters available. It doesn't have like a lot, so it has a nice chunk to it. But I think, Isaac, you mentioned before we started the stream that apparently there's a manga. Now I want to watch the manga. I mean, the anime.
I mean,
I want to
yeah,
watch the anime.
it's an anime that went from 88 to 92, and well, it also have two video games. One for the family computer in 1989, and a Nintendo DS game from 2007.
Let me write some notes here. Oshimbo bootleg PlayStation. I mean, sorry. That was supposed to go on. But yeah, guys, you guys got anything else on Oshimbo?
No, I think this is another one I'll probably pick up some more on.
Yeah. So if you guys,
I don't have anything, or it would be fishy for me to start with it all.
I see what you're trying to do. It didn't work.
No, it didn't work.
But I appreciate you. Like fine pottery. It's this. If you're looking for a palate cleanser for something different, if you want the best of Food Wars without the eki, you can always go back to Food Wars. But if you want something that that instills you with knowledge and experience of Japanese cuisine, allows you to appreciate the culture while watching a story envelop in a very interesting way, Oishimbo a la carte, it's a great read. It's available on the Viz app. Where were you able to read it, Isaac?
Viz app.
Viz app. It is a great read. We strongly recommend it. And I love shows that do things that if I really wanted to, I can do them in real life. You know what I mean? Like I've never really, I've only seen like the first couple of episodes of Dr. Stone. But that's one of those things that I appreciate the hell out of that show. Because when you least expect it, hey guys, you can make your own soda. And if in real life you try and do it, buddy, you're gonna have soda. Like, you know what I mean? So I like the fact that this is another one of those that makes learning about things fun and interesting and intriguing. And Oshimbo a la carte does a great job of it. So go check it out if you love food and manga. This is a great mix. Oshimbo a la carte. So we said that we were going to be talking about 3 manga. We talked about a Holy War shonen about love and life. We talk about Japanese culture and cooking. Jidge, you got something furious for us, don't you?
I do. So earlier we talked about a good comeback story. When we were talking about Toriyama and everything. This manga is actually another good comeback story. It's a reboot. So the original name of the manga was, I'm gonna butcher this. It's Supim. I'm not even. It's by the author of Golden Kamuy. His first manga was a hockey manga, and
Golden Kamuy, like one of the biggest.
Yeah. So this is his first manga was a hockey manga. Like I said, it's called like Supina Marada, something like that.
We're gonna figure it out.
And it failed. So then, he went back to the drawing board, came out with Golden Kamuy, and obviously we know the story of that. Afterwards, he decided, let's bring it back. And that's how we got Dogs Red. So it's a figure skating, it's a hockey manga. The main character, he was a figure skater, and after his mom died, he kind of gave up. You see it very in the first 2 pages of the first chapter. Yeah. He just kind of went nuts. And so their grandparents take them in, and they're a part of, they're in the small town, and he joins the hockey team. And first and foremost, I love sports manga. I love sports anime. I'm a huge sports fan, and I love bringing in my interest and bringing them together. So loving obviously anime and manga and loving sports, sports anime and sports manga have just been right up my alley forever. And hockey is actually a sport I don't know a lot about. And one of the things I always love about a sports anime is they try to teach you the sport along the line. Along the road, you learn the sport. And most of the time, I watch Birdie Wing, I know golf, so like that I didn't learn a lot. Or like watching Kuroko basketball or watching Haikyuu, I know those sports. This one I'm learning with him because he doesn't know hockey either.
So
So
many
we're
rules.
we're learning together, and
Yes.
it's great. It's such a good time. I love the aspect of a figure skater taking his talents that he has as a skater and showing these hockey players like, yo, no, this translates. It reminds me of, for anybody who watches football just in real life, a lot of football players, they do ballet, or they learn ballet because it helps them be more nimble on their feet when they're running up and down the field. So it has a lot of real world aspects of it, and I'm just having a good time with it. I had to recommend it because for anyone who loves sports as much as I do, this is just another one. I hope it gets an anime adaptation because it's so good.
So the one that you were talking about, the original take, the first try on this is called Supina Murata.
Yes.
And it's literally the same premise. It ran for only 6 volumes, which is probably somewhere around 28 to 35 chapters. But this one is going strong. I see it. I've been looking at this pop up on my Shonen Jump feed for the last couple of months.
Same. And I just happened to pick it one day. I was just like, you know what? I've went through a lot of stuff. Let's
Yes.
see what it's about.
See, the other one that's like in my mind is like Mission Yakuza or whatever it is. It's like about the 2 assassins or whatever. But Dog's Red it's something. It's something. It's something. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not a sports guy.
Fair.
I'm not a sports guy. But I'm liking this. I'm liking this because I feel like Rue. Not because of the whole parental drama.
Sure.
But of the whole. If you put me in a hockey ring, I'm gonna feel like a figure skater. Like I have no idea what to do with the stick. I have no idea how to. I'm just gonna run away and break the rules. But like, I like that Rue is not only a force to be reckoned with, though he's somewhat delicate, but not at the same time delicate.
Yeah.
But I like how he's our in. I like him being our in. I like how the reason he learns about the game is because everybody's going, you're an idiot. You don't know what it is. This is what you need to do. So I like that. I like the cliffhanger in chapter 5 of this weird coach that for some reason likes to pose like Kakashi and like just sitting there with that balance, and he just starts dropping like knowledge or whatever. So I like that. I like the fact that you can be the idea that certain skills are transferable, and just because one avenue closes doesn't mean you can't excel in something else.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like what the premise is going on for. And the action shots
are great.
Oh my goodness. They are so great.
They are.
The sense of motion on these shots is ridiculous. I enjoy it. I like the fact, like I understand that not every chapter can be 20 pages, but I appreciated that the first 3 chapters were longer because they gave way to those action shots.
Yeah. I love the fact that, like, especially the action shots where he's using sort of some of the skills that he learned as a figure skater, like where he'll have it. He's, pulling off to the side because he's doing some type of spin or whatever. It's great.
Yeah, no, and of course he's doing all that. Everybody's freaking out, and his sister goes, "That's just a split eagle. What are we talking about? That's just anybody can do that." And it's just but that's how much out of this hockey world they are,
right?
But I do like a lot how he's bringing reference into that. What is up, Mike? What's up, fam? But Isaac, you're not a sports guy. I know that you've been okay with a lot of different sport. I think we've done very little sports anime. One of them was Megalobox, and I know that you weren't hugely excited about that one, but appreciated it. Dog's Red.
It's funny that you say that I'm not a sports guy because, well, you are right overall. When it's about VM or World Cup or European Cup of hockey, I'm usually watching that at least
No.
final if Sweden is
Wait. So hockey's your
or
jam?
hockey and golf.
Yo. Yo.
Wow.
Okay, so
What?
no, I find
I
it
mean,
awesome.
I mean,
We
I
found
don't.
the manga. We found the sports manga for you, Isaac.
It's not like I'm watching it religiously. I need to watch
No, I got you. I got you.
every match and I don't watch every cup. It's more European Cup and World Cup if Sweden is in the finals, with exception of if they are against Finland, because then it's just fuck it, let's beat those beat the crap out of those Finns. It's sort of like a friendly rivalry between the two countries, kind of deal. But yeah, I did enjoy this actually. Because it was stupid, but at the same time, like it sort of like made sense in a way, if that makes any sense. And since, well, yeah, I do enjoy hockey in comparison to other sports, so it's probably that's probably one of them reasons.
That's awesome.
But
So
but
what
yeah,
did you enjoy Dog's Red? Did you like
I enjoy.
did you like the attentive Rue to make hockey graceful?
Yes, because they're nothing more graceful than kicking your opponent's ass in the hockey ring. Speaking like a true Swede.
Yes. No, Dog's Red is great, and I like the. It's funny because the whole Satoru Noda's journey with Dog's Dread in a way reminds me of Damien Chazelle with La La Land. Like he didn't have the means to make La La. I mean, is that he tried to make it, but he just didn't have the means to make it in the grandeur that he wanted to make it. So he made Whiplash. And Whiplash was his into the industry. That's what gave him his name. That's what got him the clout to say my next movie is going to be La La Land, and the rest is history, right? I like the idea that Golden Kamuy was so popular that people went back looking for more work of Noda, and that's what made him go, I'm going to bring back Dog Dread, which I think it's I find that beautiful. I find that awesome. It takes us full circle with Akira Toriyama with Sandland. You know, the fact that he was able to bring back one of his first works for a new generation. It's just great as well. And the fact that he got another shot at this, it's so cool. And I feel, and he's one of those writers I didn't know, but I find it interesting that both books, Golden Kamuy and Dog's Dread, they both take place in Hokkaido. So he may be a native of Hokkaido, and so he's writing stories based on the geography that he's from. I'm assuming,
Yeah,
but
I would assume so.
But I find that very interesting because it makes me think that if he's depicting Hokkaido the way Hokkaido actually is, with winter, not a lot of snow, availability for ice and ice rinks, it means that he probably grew up in an environment where there was hockey like this. You know, so this could be a very personal book for him, and I'm excited that he got another chance to do it. And you're doing a kick ass job, Noda.
Yeah,
you're making graceful. You're making a graceful comeback.
Yeah, like I said, I hope it gets an anime adaptation just because I love anime.
Buddy,
they are up my alley.
You know what, bro? I don't know why, but the action shots of this book gives me Megalobox vibes. And I'm gonna be honest,
I was about to say.
I'm not a sports guy, but Megalobox is
That's fair.
my shit. Like I'm a big Rocky guy, and
Mm.
and I know that Megalobox is just a reinterpretation of Ashita no Joe. But man, if Doc's Red looks that good, bro,
Yeah, yeah.
on anime, it's just gonna be crazy, bro. Especially with the animation that we have now.
Yep.
Those
It's
action and high speed shots.
fire. Oh, it would be fire.
Don't worry, Isaac. We're not gonna give it to Mappa. We'll find someone else to do
they
it.
gotta
I
know.
mean,
Don't freak out. I mean, they would
I
do a
was
killer.
gonna say-
They would do a great job, though. But
yeah. If they allow their staff to do work properly, they could
yes,
make god tier animation to any anime.
yeah. No, but Doc's Red is a ton of fun. I like. See, that's one of those things that I appreciate. Is because I like how much sports anime, and I appreciate this because I know most sports animes do this. Because it's serialized and because it's a sport, one match will take multiple chapters
Mm-hmm.
because
Mhm.
matches take time.
Yep.
So I like that you're living like you're literally watching the Mighty Ducks movie and seeing it all play out long form. I do appreciate. I don't know how many times you can be in the penalty box, but apparently Rue has made himself a tent in that penalty box.
I need to ask somebody who knows hockey. Like, yeah, I need a hockey player to fact check this.
Yes. Like, are there limits? Because I don't know in basketball you get what, like you get 4 or 6 fouls.
You get 6 fouls. So
You
like,
get 6 fouls,
how
buddy,
many-
and he's in number 4, and the first quarter just ended, buddy.
like, can you get as many fouls as you want in hockey? You just got to take the time. What's up here?
Yes. I'm excited for Doctorate. If you guys want to check out Doctorate, it's available on the Shonen Jump app. It's there. Read it. It's fun. And I know that a lot of people are excited because there's like a junior league of Captain Yubaza with soccer. I know that Hayaku just came out with a new movie as well, even though the series has ended. This is another sports anime that's sport manga I think is going to be great. I've enjoyed it so far. I'm going to keep reading it. I might add it to my list of active reads. Go, Isaac.
I have a question to both of you. If you were to choose a studio for each of the mangas that we have talked about today, giving an anime adaptation,
I salute you for bringing the closing conversation to a full circle. I salute you.
Which studios would you pick and why? You can start, Brandon.
Oh, you bastard. So let's take it in order, right? Let's just do one at a time. So, Make the Exorcist Fall in Love. I'm trying. I would give it to Trigger.
Trigger, huh?
And you know why?
No.
Because I love what they did with Darling in the Franxx. I love their work with Darling in the Franxx, and also, I hate to say this, it's either them or Gainax, because Trigger for Darling in the Franxx, but Gainax because I think it's Gainax that did Dead Leaves.
Gainax did Dead Leaf, yes, I do believe.
And that kind of risque, kind of esoteric type of animation that excels in.
No, it's Trigger that.
It was Trigger that did Dead Leaves?
It looks. Wait. Production IG. Sorry.
Production IG. I knew it was one of. I thought it was that one.
No. Wait. Go on.
So
I missed information here.
Okay, so which was the correct information? Because I'm trying to make a point, and I think I need the right answer. I think it was better when I was guessing, Isaac. So that studio that did That Leaves, that whatever studio it was, Not that I recommend Dead Leaves, but they have this kind of.
Deadlift is hysterical.
Oh wait,
Don't
actually,
lie.
without talking about Dead Leaves, Fully Cooley,
Mm.
which is production IG. Um, I like that kind of
It
esoteric
was production IG.
and
It
and,
was.
and I love how they mix match animation styles depending
Yeah.
on what they're trying to make comedic, and I feel that Make the Extras Fall in Love calls for that dynamism in the animation. It can't be just one thing. You know what I mean? It has to have those shades. Certain panels are going to be out of color and maybe like blurred and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like so I kind of like, especially to capture the dichotomy of the real and the spiritual. So either Trigger or Production IG for that one.
Hmm. I would go
Bitch.
Madhouse. Madhouse cooks. Madhouse cooks
See, here's the thing.
crazy.
You're not wrong. But the problem is that 90% of what was Madhouse is now Mappa. So you're technically saying, yo, Mappa,
No, because
yo,
No.
because
No, no.
Madhouse just went crazy on Frerin, and those action scenes in Frerin.
pause. Madhouse is doing Farron.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's Madhouse.
I'm gonna walk out.
We,
Peace out, guys. I gotta go watch Farron now. Damn it.
yeah,
How did I
we
not know this?
mentioned that. We mentioned that during our review.
I know. Apparently, I wasn't paying attention. I'm sorry. Damn, bro. Okay.
and
Yeah.
yes. That's look.
Okay.
Some of those animation.
I respect that. Yes.
I was the reason I laughed about the Madhouse choice is because I was about to say Madhouse myself because of the action scenes in Fear and
Oh, they're
because
great.
So we got three good places: Madhouse, Trigger, IG. Okay, I like this. Okay, so for Oishimbo a la carte, see that one's we gotta try and think of a new, let's say it got revamped into an anime, right? Because we know that it already exists, right? So let's try and let me see what studio did the original anime.
This
Oh,
one.
I'm sorry. Oshimbo stands for the gourmet. That's what it stands for.
that makes sense.
So Nippon TV, so Shinai Animation. I have no idea who they are. What have they done? Oh, they did Doraemon, which has been forever. They've done Doraemon. Okay, so I'm trying to think. What studio would I pick for Oshimbo?
This one's tough because I wanted to have still that retro feel.
Yeah, you don't want it to. Yo, pause. I think I know what I'm gonna do. I'm doing it. So you guys keep brainstorming while I look up this studio. Isaac, who do you think should do this?
Honestly, this might be I don't know if they would pick it up since they. But someone that come. What's the studio that made Clanad?
Clonad?
Yes.
I don't know, but we can find out. Clanad was made by, let's see, Kyoto Animation.
Yeah, I figure it's the same studio that also did Violet Evergarden. It's sort of such a slice of life type shows because let's face it, this is sort of like a slice of life show. It's I think that
Okay.
Kyoto.
Okay. You got anything else?
They luckily is still going on. So,
did you have one? Do you have anything?
I'm trying to think. This one's tough. This one's really tough.
So look, I'm gonna throw one at you. So as we wrap up, production IG,
Okay.
and I'm gonna say for one reason and one reason only, because they made Uzumaki.
Okay.
The anime of Junji Ito's, and what they did is they animated the animation is literally feels like stop motion manga panels because
Yeah.
it's all black and white and it has that surreal but real feel at the same time, and I could see that style work for Ochimbo, and production ID already knows how to do it.
I like it.
Yeah, that was like, I don't know why, but I just thought about it, and you mentioned realism, like it's like hold my beer.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay. Now last one, Dogs Red.
Oh, this
Who's
is
gonna-
easy for me. 8-bit. They did Blue Lock, and Blue Lock was amazing. And
Everybody talks about that one, bro. Everybody talks about that one.
Oh, it's great. It's great.
Okay.
You got to watch it.
So I'm gonna throw a curve here though. I take your that, right? But for them to do something different, because I know they have the visual prowess for it, give it to UFO Table.
You know, I'm not mad at that.
You
I'm
know
not
what
mad
I
at
mean?
that.
You know
That
what I
would be
mean?
interesting.
Because it's something different. I mean, Demon Slayer is gonna end in like 2 years.
Sure.
They are
they
doing
gotta-
the Genshin Impact show though, but they could do another on the side.
Yeah. And then suddenly the new Mappa.
Yeah.
But no, like they know how to pronounce colors, speed, and combine it in a way that's very visually appealing. And I think we've all talked about it at Demon Slayer. Like we enjoy the show, but we enjoy watching the show, not necessarily because the story is like the biggest thing since fried rice. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
no, the visuals are very much
Yes.
the creme de la creme of the show.
yes. And and for example, imagine capturing those those figure skater movements like 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 thunder breathing, bro.
That would be great. You're right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be mad at it.
Yeah, it was so good. It was so good. Guys, I think we've done it. Actually, Isaac, you agree with that one? You agree with UFO Table?
While I do like the idea, I was actually about to say production IG myself because of Kuroko no Basket, but
Yo,
That's also not a
IG,
bad
we
choice.
got work for you, bro. We got 3 series we need you to work on, bro. 3. Come on, bro. You got to save Mappa from this hole. So sorry, Mappa. We love you, kind of. Guys, we've done the thing. We've talked. We've thanked Akira Toriyama for his work.
Mhm.
We've talked about the industry that he inspired. We talked manga. I love having manga conversations like these, guys. We got to do this again.
Yeah, this is
very
fun.
soon. This was so fun. Ditch, you feel at home here. We enjoy having you here.
I appreciate
Isaac,
you guys having me.
I can't believe I've been looking at Sukuna all night, but against them the breaks, right? If you guys love what we do here at the Amateur Otaku podcast, please do not forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you do not miss any of the streams that we do, any of the video content or shorts that we put out there about the manga and anime that we are watching. Stay tuned because we will let you know when we're getting ready to come back for another edition of This Week in Anime. And always when we announce when the episode is going to be, we'll let you know what the spotlights are because we always like to give the spotlight to certain mangas or animes every single week. And if there's any anime or manga that you guys want us to include in our weekly spotlight, let us know what that manga or anime is in the comments below. If you recommend something, I promise you, we're probably going to read it, share it, and give you a shout. But if you love what you hear, share, like, subscribe, share with your friends. Thank you for being awesome. Stay awesome. Keep watching anime, guys. We will see you next time. Peace.
Peace.
Bye.